So what we're going to talk about today is how to use your details on your index card to write generalizations. So everybody, yesterday you were able to find your two sources, and you have yours labeled A and B. And when you read through it, you underlined what you thought were details. This is a Philippine Duchesne. She is the saint that has actually lived in St. Charles, Missouri. And so I read about her. I underlined important facts. I underlined more than 9. You notice that I did not underline in complete sentences, just the facts. This was my first one, was 2 pages long, and then it starts here with Sister Rose Philippine Duchesne, and then this one was shorter, and I underlined facts like her feast day, when she joined the Society of Sacred Heart, and that when she was canonized. Okay. So that was my research. I did my research, and I underlined my facts. All right, so that's what you did for homework last night. And the next thing that we have to look at, that I want you to remember when I get to the next page, is that white cards are facts and details, and colored cards will be for generalizations. Okay, that's really important. So when I did my homework last night then, I wrote out 9 cards. I have things like, she taught 13 years in France before going to the New World. She was canonized by Pope John Paul II in 1988. In France, she worked with the poor, the homeless, sick, and dying. At age 72, she taught Indians in Kansas. She opened the first free school west of Missouri. She dreamed of coming to the New World to teach Indians, and that was when she was real young. She dreamed that. At the age of 35, she began teaching young girls. She entered religious life, but her dad did not like it, and she was born in 1769. So you notice I have these 3 yellow squares at the top. Those are going to be where I write what? Louder. Good. So how do I find those generalizations? I have to start moving the cards around. If I take this, that, well, she dreamed of coming to the New World one day, what else might go with that? She actually opened the first school. That could go with that. She was born in France. She began teaching young girls. Maybe that. It's important to know that when she was doing this, she was not yet at the New World. She was still in France on this card right here. Notice my cards have A and B. Why A and B? To mark the sources. Good. Okay. So maybe I could say, well, she had some dreaming here. Gosh, she was able to do that. But you know what? At age 72, she taught Indians. So here she dreamed about it. She did get to open a school west of Missouri. And at age 72, she taught Indians in Kansas. I could almost put these 3 together and make a generalization. And my opinion about these things is that she made sure her dreams came true, or she worked hard to make sure her dreams came true. Would that be an opinion? So I could then type that up here. She worked hard to make her dreams come true. So now I have some of my research to support a generalization. So if I take everything I have here, and let me just move this over here instead. Pointer, move this over here, and this this over here, and then I could put all this over here. And so now we kind of see that these things here kind of match our organizer that we talked about doing, right? We have a topic sentence, which will be the generalization, and then examples to support it, right? Just looking like it makes sense? Okay, all right, good. All right, so now I have 6 more, okay? If everything worked out great, I would be able to find 3 for the yellow generalization and 3 for the green. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes I have to go back to my research, back to my paper, and see if I have anything else to write down on a note card. What that means for you is you might need more than 9 cards. You might not use one of the details that you put in. You might even use 4 details or 5 details in one paragraph. And you know what? All of that is okay. One of the reasons why we have these details on index cards is because if you tried to write this down and you started writing your paragraphs and then you had to change it, you'd be erasing it or you'd be rewriting it. This way you've written it one time and all you do is you move it around. You can play on your desk, you can move it around and say these 3 go together. No, I don't think so. This one goes over here. Oh, it looks like I need to write another one. And so that's why it's on cards. Okay? And Riley, your question was really good about, do I have to have an A, a B, and an A for a generalization? No. It could be all B's, it could be all A's, it could be 2 B's, it could be 2 A's. The only rule is that you have to have at least 1 B and show up among all the other A's. You have to use 2 different sources when we write this paper. So let's see if we can come up with a yellow generalization. Let's see if we can find a yellow generalization. It is, we've got she was canonized, or she became a saint in 1988. She was born in 1769. She started out by teaching young girls. She taught 13 years in France and before she went to the New World. She entered the religious life, but her dad did not like it. She worked with the homeless and dying. Let's see. She did this, and she didn't really want to. She did this. Her dad didn't really want to. She wanted to go to the New World, but she had to stay in France for 13 years. She, at age 35, that was when she started teaching young girls. So, let's see. If we put these 3 ideas together, in France, she worked with the poor, homeless, sick. That's not really what she wanted to do. Okay. So if I put these 3 things together, can I come up with something about her work ethic? Or she did things to help other people, even if people she loved didn't care, didn't think it was right, or she knew what she needed to do. Let's see, I'm going to take that one down. I think I might put this one up here and say that at age 35 she began teaching young girls. That's a little bit closer to her dream. So she worked here. So she had to do things that she didn't want to do or that other people didn't want to do. So that probably gave her faith. So I'm going to say that she relied on faith in what she chose to do. So now I can take this group and I can put those, not in that color, no, I won't do that. I can put them in the yellow color. Because these 3 go together with that generalization. But Sophia saw that these 3 are not really working real well. She was born here, she was canonized here, and she taught 13 years in France before going to the New World. I might even be able to move this over here, you think? Because she taught 13 years before her dreams came true, so that, actually, I could use 4 there. So let me add that to my my pink. And now I have details about her life, just facts. She was born here. She was canonized here. Um, let's see. 1769 to 1988. That's 200 years. And she became a saint within 200 years. And that was a time period when there was no internet. There was no way to get the word out really fast. That's a really fast turnaround time for saints. So what I need to do is I need to come up with some other fact that maybe I can use with these cards. Or maybe I end up just throwing these cards to the side and find 3 other facts. So now it means that I have to return back to my research papers. Can I find anything else in here to come up with another generalization? Say that again. So her various activities in Sacred Heart in France for the next 13 years. And if I remember reading later that she started a school, Sacred Heart was her first school in St. Charles, here in the New World for her. So Sacred Heart was something that must have been important to her. So while I'm looking for this, I'm also thinking about generalizations. I can go up here, so let me, so if I go back here, so for homework tonight, you're going to use your 9 cards, and you're going to come up with 2 different generalizations. And you probably will have some cards left over, and then we'll work on that tomorrow.